Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you a few pieces of art that I discovered on a recent trip downtown to the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston. Every time I visit the museum, I find something new, or I take a closer look at something that caught my eye before, like this mirror made in 1610 in the Netherlands. The skeletons carved on either side of the mirror are supposed to remind the viewer of their own mortality whenever they look inside. Since I was there on a weekday morning, the galleries were quiet and I had time to stop and look as long as I wanted without feeling like I was blocking anyone's view. The painting that I chose to study today has caught my eye nearly every time I've walked through this wing of the museum, but I've never taken the time to do a sketch of it before. The title of this painting is Vesuvius Erupting, the artist and his father, Carl Vernet, in the foreground, and it was painted around 1822 by the French artist Horace Vernet. What really captivates me about this painting is the vivid contrast between the red glow of the fire and lava on the left side of the volcano and the cool blue mist and clouds on the right. It's a remarkable combination of bright and dark and cool and warm colors side by side. There are several small figures in this painting, including the artist and his father and 4 local guides. However, for this watercolor study, I'm going to focus on the shapes, values, and colors of the landscape itself and leave all of the figures out except one, the figure standing on the crest of the mountain who is silhouetted against the blue clouds. I'm taking the time to really build up the dark, almost black color of the mountainside in the foreground. The sky and clouds on the right won't look nearly as bright without this dark shape to serve as contrast. Creating the deep red and gold of the lava glow was a lot of fun. I don't usually use reds this vivid when I'm painting, and I really enjoyed pushing the color saturation. The more water I add to my watercolor paint, the more transparent and the less saturated the color usually becomes, since the white of the paper shows through the paint. So in order to get truly saturated tones, I've added just enough water to get the paint wet and built up the reds and blacks in several layers, waiting for each layer to dry before adding another. The more you work with any type of media, whether that be watercolors, pencils, or pastels, the better you'll learn how to use it in the way that works best for you. There's no real substitute for time and practice. I know I've said that before, but I feel as if nowadays we're so used to instant results that if anything doesn't work just the way we want it the first time, we're inclined to give up or write it off as too hard. I've been using watercolors for years and I'm still learning. That's part of what makes learning painting or any other skill rewarding. I bring my sketchbook along nearly every time I go to a museum. I might take a lot of photographs, but I usually only have time to make 1 or 2 sketches. But the sketch really helps me get to know a piece of art in a way that a photo never will. By taking the time to make the sketch, I'm tracing the shapes another artist created maybe hundreds of years ago or longer. I'm capturing a little bit of their inspiration, their thought process, of what made their art unique. So whether I spend 15 minutes or an hour making a sketch, I walk away feeling like I know the artist and their art in a personal way, like I sat down with an old friend. If you are thinking about taking a trip to sketch at a museum, make sure you check their policies about artists ahead of time. Most museums welcome artists, but they might have specific rules about what sorts of tools are allowed. You probably won't be able to bring in an easel and a chair and your oil paints, for example. I didn't want to bring a huge bottle of water into the gallery, so I brought a small recycled glass bottle with an eyedropper that I used to wet my paints. I'll show you what I mean at the end of the video. Thank you for coming along with me today in the museum. Here's my eyedropper bottle, just for reference. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.